think about if you had all the resources in the world, okay, and say you have $10 billion in the bank, and you're at a point, you've traveled the world, you have kids, you're 59 years old, King Zuby.
Wow.
You're 59 years old, you got
Goals.
$10 billion in the bank.
Goals.
Beautiful wife. Your kids are doing great. They love you. Life is good. Married, happy, everything. You're politically making an impact. You've done great for yourself. And then you're seeing a big leak in education. And if you chose to start a university, how would you start that university? And what would you teach? What would be your format? Because there is a leak in it. And there is experience in, there's a big difference between us doing the podcast this way versus us doing a podcast on a Zoom. You're sitting right here in flesh. I'm sitting right here in flesh. We're having this conversation. It's a little bit more intimate versus, hey, Zuby, so how are things? You know what I mean? So that there is that intimate experience. So if you have 10 billion and all of a sudden you get the itch and you say, you know what, I just think, we do need a university. I do think we need to do something. There's a way of doing it better. How would you do it better? I have some ideas. I'm curious on how you guys would do it better.
That's a great question. I mean, the first thing I would do is have this conversation with smart people in different fields, successful people in the world of science and law. Talk to doctors, talk to people like yourself, entrepreneurs, and see, okay, we've been running with this system for centuries. Right, the world has changed massively in each person's field and sector. Let's have this conversation and see. Okay, like what would you want to teach? What do you think would be valuable? Ask that of different people, and then over time, I wouldn't put it all on myself and think, of course, I have the knowledge of all these. I just know.
But even for you, just for you, ideally for you, like okay, so for example. Like you start a restaurant, okay? And if we're starting a restaurant together, the four of us, first thing, let's just say, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want to make it a niche? What do you mean? Is it sushi? If it's sushi, we're doing sushi. If it's, American, we're doing burgers. Okay, we're doing that. If we're doing Italian, we're doing Italian. If we're doing, are we doing a mixture? Are we doing like a fusion? Is that what we're going to be doing? Okay, let's just say we're doing a fusion. What's the fusion between? Let's say we're doing Peruvian and Chinese food combined, like Chino Chiclano by Jose Andres. Okay, we're doing a fusion of Mexican food and, whatever food. Perfect.
That's where you took me in Vegas. That's where you're coming up with.
Chiclano is in D.C. Vegas is Poblano. Poblano is Mexican and Chinese fusion.
Right.
So, so then we make a menu. And we say, what do you like on the menu? You say, I like these 7 things to eat. What do you like? I like these 9 things. Tom, what do you like? I like these 6 things. Tyler, what do you like? I like these 8 things. We add it. Then we look at the list and we say, guys, which one of these can we eliminate? And one by one we eliminate. And we keep the top 40% of the items on the menu that we all love. Okay. I think the first step is take all the topics that are teaching and look at it and say, which one of these you're going to use in your life? Okay. And I want to say, okay, let's take the top 20% of things that we are going to use, okay? And then let's add new things that nobody else is teaching to it, business, entrepreneurship, negotiation, sales, money. Let's add this to it, right? Health and fitness. Let's add this to it, diet, like that kind of stuff. Let's add this to it, and let's go with it. And by the way, if you want to study philosophy, go to University of whatever. If you want to study this, go over there. Our school is to teach you stuff that you're going to apply in your life. And then here's what makes us unique, Adam. What's that? 2 things. Number one, 50% of our professors are former operators. What do you mean? It's a form of a contribution to society. Hey, Adam, you're 63. You've made a lot of money. You don't need to make another $50 million bucks. Are you willing to contribute 6 hours of your week to society? Yeah, what do I need to do? A class a day for 1 hour. I can do a class every other day. No problem. Let's start off with that. Adam is now a professor teaching basics of money because he became financially free, but he's not talking as a guy that desperately needs the salary. He's talking from a guy that's worth $10 million. Here's how I did it. These are the mistakes that I made, right? Okay, Zuby, your topic is going to be this. How do you want to, are you willing to contribute to such that? Guys, I can only do 2 hours a week. No problem. It's fine. Here's what we're going to do. Then my format will be the following format. In topics that there needs to be a lot of debate, the class would have 2 professors, not 1 professor. If we're doing religious studies, I'm going to have a Christian and I'm going to have a whatever, pick another denomination, or not denomination, religion, Muslim, put Catholicism, Mormonism, Judaism, pick them, okay? And that's what it is. So you debate and I debate, and I'm the student. I'm enamored the entire time because I'm like, what a freaking format. You're sitting there teaching history, have a couple people debate. Every class would have 2 professors, not one. And the format would be debate. Because I think what we're saying here with universities, I think if a university like that existed, I would love for my kids to go there. Like the idea's got to be, dude, I am so happy my kids are in your hands. Thank you. I'm so happy my kids are in your hands. I was at a wedding last November. And at the wedding, the father, the guy that was getting married, shows up to me and he gives me a hug and he starts crying. He says, listen, man, I'm so glad you got a hold of my son at 18 years old. Because because the teaching, the environment changed. So I have kids. I know eventually these kids got to go learn from somebody else. For me to be able to say, my son is spending a quarter with Tom, I'm like, it's coming from a place of, dude, that kid is going to come better. So the idea of education for parents needs to be, I can't wait to meet the final product of my daughter or my son. But that's not the feeling today.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.